What if the man you mocked in the lobby turned out to be the owner of everything you see around you? That's exactly what happened when a luxury dealership staff misjudged a quiet visitor in casual clothes and paid the price. Today's story isn't just about cars or wealth, it's about the fundamental dignity every human deserves, regardless of appearance. Michael Downing stepped into the high-end automobile showroom wearing casual attire, eager to examine one of his corporation's latest luxury vehicles. The early morning sunlight streamed through the dealership's floor to ceiling windows, illuminating the polished vehicles that gleamed under the showroom lights. Michael had specifically chosen this time, just after opening, to conduct his unannounced visit. He wanted to see how his staff treated customers during regular business hours, not during a prepared inspection. Before he could even venture onto the display floor, a sales associate named Derek shot him a contemptuous glance and motioned toward the doorway. Derek's pristine suit and perfectly styled hair contrasted sharply with Michael's simple attire. "Please wait outside. We don't permit loitering on the premises," Derek remarked with a dismissive wave of his hand, completely unaware that the very individual he was dismissing was the corporation's chief executive officer who actually owned the entire dealership chain. Michael felt a twinge of disappointment but remained silent. He'd suspected this might happen, which was precisely why he'd orchestrated this undercover visit. What transpired over the next hour would transform the business fundamentally and permanently. Growing up in a working-class neighborhood in Detroit, Michael wasn't born into wealth or privilege. His father had been a mechanic who taught him everything about cars from engines to aesthetics. "People might judge a book by its cover," his father would say, "but what matters is the story inside." Those words had shaped Michael's business philosophy from day one. Michael wasn't just an ordinary CEO. He had constructed his business empire from nothing, starting with a single used car lot 20 years ago. Now, Downing Automotive Group owned 37 dealerships across 12 states, making it one of the fastest-growing automotive retail groups in America. He had proven his worth in an industry where people frequently measure success through external appearances. Throughout his ascent, he had promised himself that no matter how successful he became, he would never forget his roots or lose touch with the everyday experiences of his customers. He valued fairness, dignity, and diligence above all else, but today he wanted to verify whether his dealerships maintained these same principles. The company's mission statement, which hung prominently in every location, read, "At Downing Automotive, we don't just sell cars. We build relationships based on respect, integrity, and exceptional service." Michael had begun to wonder if those were just empty words on a plaque or if they truly guided his employees' actions. Without revealing his identity, he had decided to visit one of his premier locations in an affluent district of Chicago. He dressed in a basic polo shirt and denim pants instead of his customary tailored business attire, deliberately leaving behind the trappings of wealth that typically surrounded him. He even drove his old, reliable sedan rather than one of his luxury vehicles to complete the disguise. Upon entering, he carefully observed the showroom dynamics. He immediately noticed how the sales personnel enthusiastically welcomed the formally dressed patrons, providing them coffee, bottled water, and prompt service. The contrasting treatment was striking. A couple in designer clothes was immediately approached by two associates offering assistance, while a middle-aged woman in modest attire stood waiting for several minutes before receiving reluctant attention. This wasn't the culture he had envisioned building. Every customer, regardless of appearance, deserved the same level of respect and attention. The disparity made his stomach tighten with disappointment. As Michael approached a gleaming silver sports coupe, the newest model his company had just released last month, a young sales associate named Tyler frowned at him. Tyler had been chatting with colleagues near the refreshment area, laughing loudly until he spotted Michael approaching the vehicle, at which point his expression immediately soured. "Sir, if you're not here with purchase intent, we'd appreciate if you wouldn't occupy the space," Tyler stated dismissively, positioning himself between Michael and the vehicle as though protecting it. This model starts at $120,000. Perhaps something in our economy section would be more suitable. Michael maintained his composure, despite feeling the sting of the assumption. He raised an eyebrow. And what leads you to believe I'm not here to purchase this particular model? His voice was calm, measured, revealing nothing of his true position or the growing disappointment he felt. Tyler snickered, exchanging knowing glances with nearby colleagues. Let's be honest, this establishment isn't designed for casual browsers like yourself. We cater to a specific clientele who understand the value of what we offer. The implication was crystal clear. Michael didn't look like someone who could afford such a vehicle. Before Michael could reply, another staff member, Amanda, interjected. Her designer suit and carefully manicured appearance exuded an air of superiority as she approached. Perhaps try the pre-owned vehicle lot down the boulevard, she remarked with a smirk, pointing vaguely toward the window. They have more accessible options. She emphasized the word accessible in a way that made its meaning unmistakable. Other employees snickered quietly, treating him as an intruder in their prestigious domain. A security guard even began moving closer, clearly monitoring the situation in case this undesirable visitor needed to be escorted out. The behavior Michael witnessed contradicted everything he had built his company on. He felt a complex mixture of emotions: disappointment in his management for allowing such a culture to develop, anger at the blatant discrimination, and determination to correct this significant failure. Michael remained composed, watching their conduct, mentally recording every disrespectful glance and whispered remark. He took note of name badges, positions, and specific comments. 20 years of business negotiations had taught him the value of staying calm under pressure. Finally, he turned to Tyler and Amanda. "I'd like to speak with the supervisor," he stated resolutely, his voice firm but not raised. Tyler smirked, straightening his designer tie. "I am the supervisor. I manage the sales floor." His tone suggested that this should end the conversation. Michael nodded, then retrieved his smartphone from his pocket. "Excellent. Then I presume you won't object if I make a brief telephone call." Without waiting for permission, he dialed a number he knew by heart. "Leslie, this is Michael. I'm currently at the Chicago Heights location. Would you please join me here immediately?" "Yes, right now." "Thank you." The call lasted less than 30 seconds. Tyler and Amanda exchanged confused glances, clearly wondering who Leslie was and why this seemingly ordinary man spoke with such authority. Moments later, the dealership's district manager, Leslie Morgan, arrived, appearing visibly anxious. She had been in a meeting just 2 miles away when she received Michael's call. The employees tensed as they watched their superior rush in, something clearly amiss in her urgent manner. Leslie's eyes widened when she spotted Michael standing near the sports coupe, still surrounded by the dismissive sales team. "Mr. Downing, what an unexpected pleasure," she exclaimed, her voice carrying across the showroom floor. The room descended into profound silence. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. The ambient music seemed suddenly louder in the quiet. Tyler's complexion drained of color. Amanda's smirk vanished instantly. The security guard who had been monitoring Michael quickly retreated to his post. "Mr. Downing?" Tyler repeated, eyes widening with realization, the name finally registering in his mind. The founder and CEO of the entire corporation was standing before him, the very man whose signature was on his paychecks. "That's correct," Michael affirmed, calm yet authoritative. There was no satisfaction in his voice, only disappointment. "I own this dealership network, and I've just personally witnessed how you evaluate customers based solely on appearances." The employees frantically searched for justifications. Amanda stepped forward. "Sir, we were just following protocol for security." "Security?" Michael interrupted. "Is it your security protocol to direct potential customers to other dealerships? To mock them? to make assumptions about their purchasing power based on what they're wearing. Amanda fell silent, unable to maintain eye contact. Tyler attempted to salvage the situation. "Mr. Downing, if we had known who you were..." "That's precisely the problem," Michael stated firmly. "You shouldn't treat anyone differently whether they're the CEO or someone who saved for years to purchase their dream car. Every person who walks through those doors deserves the same respect." He turned toward Leslie, the district manager. "Effective immediately, I want this entire sales team replaced. We established this corporation on principles of integrity and respect. I refuse to tolerate employees who judge customers by their clothing, ethnicity, or any other superficial characteristic." Leslie nodded solemnly. "Of course, Mr. Downing. I'll handle it personally." Michael continued, addressing the entire showroom, which had gone completely still. "Furthermore, I'm implementing a new company-wide mystery shopper program. Representatives from diverse backgrounds will visit each of our locations regularly. Those teams that demonstrate equal respect to all potential customers will receive bonuses. Those that don't will face consequences." He paused, looking around at the shocked faces of his employees, and delivered a line that would later become the company's new tagline. "Respect isn't about how someone looks, it's about how you look at someone." The announcement circulated rapidly throughout the company and even made local business news. Customers commended the courageous decision, many sharing their own stories of discrimination they had faced while shopping for vehicles. The terminated employees learned a profound lesson about humility and respect, one that would follow them throughout their careers. "True wealth," Michael later told a business reporter covering the story, "isn't measured by what's in your wallet, but by how you treat those who can do nothing for you in return." In the weeks that followed, Michael personally oversaw a complete overhaul of the company's hiring and training practices. He ensured the dealership was restaffed with individuals who valued every customer, regardless of their outward appearance. New training modules were developed focusing on unconscious bias and inclusive customer service. 3 months later, sales at the Chicago Heights location had increased by 34%, with customer satisfaction scores reaching all-time highs. The store became a model for the entire corporation. As Michael departed on that pivotal day, he glanced back one final time at Tyler and Amanda, who were clearing out their desks under Leslie's supervision. "Perhaps next occasion, you'll reconsider before evaluating someone based on their appearance." With those parting words, Michael drove away in the very sports coupe they had attempted to prevent him from examining, the keys handed to him by Leslie after he completed the paperwork. As he navigated through Chicago's busy streets, Michael reflected on his father's wisdom. The incident had reinforced what he had always believed. Genuine influence doesn't derive from attire, possessions, or titles, but from character, integrity, and how you treat others, especially those who can do nothing for you in return. "The clothes don't make the customer," Michael would later say at a company-wide training event. "The customer makes the company." This experience would become a defining moment in the company's history and a powerful reminder that in business, as in life, appearances may initially catch attention, but it's character that ultimately earns respect. If you found this narrative compelling and thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more impactful stories. These real, life lessons remind us that dignity and respect should be universal values, not conditional ones. Share your thoughts in the comments section below. What course of action would you have taken in this situation? Have you ever been judged unfairly based on your appearance? How did you handle it? Your support enables us to deliver more perspective, changing narratives that challenge us to examine our own biases and behaviors. Where in the world are you viewing this video from? Let us know in the comments. Remember, in a world where you can be anything, be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Take care and stay inspired.